Okay. Now we are able to load the data. We are able to edit the data. We are able to delete the data. Okay. So all card operations are done. Suppose what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete 2 employees here. Okay. And so 2 employees are deleted, right? If I am going to reload the page, so let's see what is happening. Again, these 2 employees are coming, right? Okay, that means your delete is only working in this page only. Whenever, even if you go to other page and come back, again those data is coming. That means this data is not at all deleted from the backend server. Okay, so we need to delete our data also from the backend server. If you want to delete any data from backend server also, we need to call the, either we can use a fetch method or we can use a Axios API. Okay, anything is fine. Let us try to see what we have to do. Okay, so here how are we fetching the data? If you see here, we are using a load employees. So inside the load employees, we are calling a fetch method. So here you are giving your URL. Okay, and then you are calling a then function, and then you are calling the data, something like this. So this is the normal way we will do it. Okay, so instead of writing this fetch function and writing this then and something like this, we can use a one library called Axios library. So there is a library called Axios library. This is, it will have a, we no need to write this much repeated code. We will be writing only very, very less code in the Axios. Okay. This Axios is using for the REST API integration. So what is this REST API integration? Suppose whenever I'm clicking delete, I want to delete from the backend also. Then we need to call to the backend, right? So that backend, either I can use a fetch also is fine. Fetch also we can use it, or we can use the Axios also. So Axios is like a library where already all methods are available. It will be easy for use. Okay, and using the Axios, we have what are the API methods are available in the HTTP protocol: get to, post to, put to, delete to, patch. Correct, right? Patch is for what purpose? Updating the partial update. Correct, right? Okay, partial update. We can use any of the methods here. Okay, so now and this Axios methods will return a promise. What is a promise? A promise are for the asynchronous actions, right? Okay. So first we have to install this library and we will do this. Before installing this library, I will give you one simple example with our fetch one. Then we will use the, then we will change that fetch example with the Axios library. Let's try to do this. Okay. So most of the time in the projects, what we will do here, where we are writing our code here for loading the data inside the employees code. Correct, right? So suppose if you want to load, update, how many methods we are going to write? 4 methods for loading one, deleting one, updating one, saving. Four parts will write it, right? All methods will be writing it, right? It is not recommended to write all methods in this file. Okay, so this employee.js is responsible only for displaying the component. Okay, if you want to load the data from backend, don't write that code here. We will write a separate files. Okay, so here we are going to, some, each company will follow their own standards. Okay, some company they will create, here we have a components, right? In some company they will create a new folder API. Okay, there they will make all the API calls over there. Okay, in some companies, like whatever the company I have worked earlier, so we are following this kind of structure. So first thing is, so here we have it, right? So here I'm going to create a new folder. That folder I'm going to add it as a utils. Okay, whatever the utility, it will be applicable in all the files. We are going to use those files inside the utils folder. So here I'm going to create one file that is nothing but a endpoints.js. So what is this endpoints means? Suppose we want to call to our API. So if you want to call to any API, first thing is you need to have that URL, right? Without URL, you cannot call this a endpoint. Correct, right? This URL itself, we'll call it as a endpoint only. So let me close here and go to endpoint.js. Here, what we'll do in project, whatever the URL we are going to write it, all will write it here. Okay, so I will say employee URL, something like this. Okay, so here we are going to write one and just normal constant value and one URL. Okay, and suppose you want to use this file in another place, then what is the one we should write it? Export. Correct, right? If you want to use this variable in other file, we need to write the export. Okay, Let's write the employee URL. Okay, something like this. So now we have declared our URL here. First, this is the endpoint. Okay, or we can hard code it also, but that is not a recommended approach. So second thing is go to our employees. Okay, already I have written this fetch method, right? We don't want to write this method. I will move this method to some other folder. Okay, here I am going to create a one folder called hooks. Okay, hooks. So inside the hooks, in each folder this file will be there. Okay, I'm going to create a new file called api.js. Okay, api.js file. So here in this api.js file, you are going to write all your API code here. So for example, earlier, what is the API code I have written here? Function load employees, right? I'm going to cut here and I will add inside the api.js. Okay, okay, so that is okay. And whenever we are using here, the first next thing what we have to do, we have to write a export, otherwise we cannot in other file, right? That is okay. And here they are trying to load this employees, right? Let me reload here. Okay, I'll remove here. So now I have written a one function, simple function, format the document. That is okay. So here we are having hard coded value, right? We will remove here. What is the constant I have written here? Employee URL, control space. So automatically this URL will be imported from the utils endpoint. Okay. So now that means if you want to see what are the endpoints in your project is there, you can go and identify all the file URLs inside this file. That is the advantage. Okay. So next thing, again, I will go to hooks api.js, load employees is there. Suppose here I'm writing a console.log only. I will not set anything into the screen. Let's copy the name. What is the name? Load employees. Let's go here. Here it is something like this, right? Control space. So that inside the use effect, I'm just loading the this is employee. Okay. File, save all. So after this one, we will not have any data inside the screen. Console. Okay, let us reload the page again. Okay, so here see, is there any data is coming? No. And this flag also, this loading employee also not getting false. Okay, but in the console, see, all the data is coming or not? Okay, that means even though you are writing your code in the separate function, okay, separate function, you are able to get the data or not? Yes, we are able to get the data. But the only problem is once we get the data, we want to turn off the loading indicator. Okay, so but here we have removed that loading code from here. That's the reason we are not getting that loading. Okay, first let's go to employees. Here what we want to do, you can write one callback function. You know what is a callback? Callback is nothing but another function which we are sending to some function. Okay, so here I will go to my API here, and here I will say simply callback. You can write any name, no problem. Okay, something like this, I'm writing callback. So this callback, what we are going to do, once we are going to get the data, everything the data in the last line inside the then method, I'm going to call like this. Okay, callback and data. So this what will happen is automatically this data will come to here. Okay, but now here this load employee is taking, what is the function? Callback function. So here I should write a function which will send data to the like there. Okay, that is the reason, that is a simple function. I can write a separate function or I can write a ES6 also. So I'm going to write a ES6 function. Okay, see here I am writing a data. You can keep any name, no problem. Okay, this is a ES6 function. So and I am writing open bracket and curly brace. This is nothing but a ES6 function. My load employees is taking what function? Callback function, and I am written a one function. Okay, now this function will be executed only once we get the data. After loading the data, we are going to get it. So now here in this code, what we want to do, we want to say something like this: set loading is equal to false, and set employees, whatever the employees is there, right? That employees already we are getting from here. So that is nothing but a data. So that's file, save all. So let's see here. This time we get the data, right? So again, you can reload the data. Okay, so now if you see in this code here, we are not writing a single line which will load the data. Okay, where is all the code is available? Inside the load employees. This load employees is where is available inside the API.js file. So here, and what is the function it is taking? A one callback. Okay, so once it is everything is loaded, it is going to call that callback function. That's how it is working. Okay. Okay, now this is the one. Okay, here if you see the API.js, the remaining everything will be working as it is. Your delete will work, edit will work, everything it will work as it is. Okay, so now let us integrate this one with the backend server. Here what is the API we are using it? If you open this load employees, here what is the code we are writing it? First we are writing a fetch. Inside the fetch we are giving our URL that is already defined in the endpoints.js, and second we are writing it then, and we are loading the data. This is a normal one. Okay, so now suppose in the office what they will do, we want to complete the employees code in one day itself. Okay, if you are giving a UI to one person, he cannot finish all the things in one day, like adding the data, saving the data, all backend integration. One day we cannot do it. That is the reason what they will do, they will ask two persons. First person is responsible for like only setting the UI means all the tables, adding, showing the form validations, and second person is responsible for the integration with the backend. So what second person can do, they can write this method. Okay, and they can give this method to the first person, automatically you can import it and you use it. So here we can split the task in a two persons. That is advantage. Okay, so like this we can write our own code also. Here we are not using any Axios code. Okay, now file format. So now this time what we are going to do, we will add the remaining operations are the right, post, put, delete. So let us open the Swagger first. So first you have to open the Swagger. Let me open the Swagger. Okay, Swagger UI. So here we are going to work on the which one employees. Okay, there is the employee controller. So what are the APIs available? Get, post, put, delete. Okay, so already we have done this one, get API. Okay, so here you can try it out and you can click on execute. So here you are going to get all the data. So this is already done. Suppose you want to try for the post. We know that, right? You can try it out and you can enter all the data and click on save. It will save it. Okay, so the thing is, you need to know the URL first. For get, URL is same. For post, URL is same. For put and delete, there is one ID we are adding in the last. That is the only difference. Let us try to do this. Okay, so let's this time we'll go for a Axios. Let's try to install the Axios. So how can you install Axios? Any library? Just stop the current project, whatever the project, and just install the npm Axios. This hyphen I save also is optional only. You can just say npm install Axios. So it is going to install the Axios. Once it is installed the Axios, we can start using the Axios. So first we have to import this Axios, like import. You can keep this name any name here. Okay, Axios from the Axios library. This is the library name, and we are going to write all the methods. This installation is done. Now try to run our project npm start. Okay, so once we are going to do like this. Okay, so here we know that if you want to load the data, how many methods we want to do it? Get, post, put, delete. 4 methods are there, right? Let us try to do one by one. Okay, here whatever the data is there, let me just comment out, and I will write a same new functionality using the here. Okay, something like this. So load employees is there, but no data at all. Okay, this time we are going to use the Axios library for loading the data. Okay, so in the first step we have to import the Axios. So simply write like import Axios, Axios, something like this. Okay, so this first step is done. Now which API you want to call it? If you want to load the data, which API you want to call it? Get API, correct, right? So I will say Axios dot get. Okay, so inside the Axios, here this is Axios is a variable which we are creating the top, and there is a function get API, right? In HTTP, how many methods are there? Those many methods are available inside the Axios. But if you are using fetch, for always any request, only fetch only it is there. But in Axios we have a get to, post to, something. If you want to post request, post. If you want to delete request, delete. If you want to patch request, patch is there. Okay, all the requests are available. For example, in our first case, what is the one we want to do it? Get request. Okay. And where is the URL? This is the URL. So here this Axios.get API will take one argument here. Okay. So this one argument, it will take a one URL. So whatever the URL you want to load it, you can give it here. That is the first step. Okay. This get will return a promise. This get will return a promise. So that is the reason I need to write like a then, okay, response, something like this. Okay. Okay. So I'm writing it then, and you can write like a response. Inside the response, let us first print the response and see what is the data we are going to have it, and later we will see this one. So this is the first step. Okay. So let's save it here, and again we'll go to our code here, reload, and reload the page again. Okay. See here again the same screen, but in the right side you see the data. So this is my response. Earlier we are getting the direct response, but whenever we are using Axios, we are getting one object. Correct, right? Inside the object, what is the data? What is the property? Data. Inside this data only, we are having all our original response. Okay. So inside the Axios library, whenever you are using Axios, your the response will be there inside the data property. That is the reason we should write like, if you want to print all these thing, you can use like a what is the one, response data data, something like this. Okay. So now you understood why I'm using response data, right? Our response is available inside the data only. That is okay. Suppose you want to see what are the headers are available from the backend server. You can see content type, and there is some properties are available, something like this. Okay. And what is the status here? 200 means a perfectly executed fine from the backend. There is no problem at all. That is this meaning. Okay. So now let's try to print our response here. Console.log of response data. That is okay. And let us reload it here. Here see, this time only arrays are printing. But what about our data is missing, right? Okay. For this reason, we want to call our callback. So callback, we can say response.data. So here we are using a Axios. First I am writing a get API, and then I am writing a then line, and this line is optional now. Okay. I'll remove it here, and I am writing a callback of data, something. Let's save it here and check it. See, this time data we are getting it right. Loader is stopping. Data also we are able to fetch it. This is for the get API. So what is the code here I am writing? If you see the lines here, I am writing fetch, then again one, then again one, then, and I am writing like this. Okay. Here I am writing simply rightly. This is more readable. Axios.get. This means this is the get API. We are loading some data from the backend, something like this. Okay. And suppose now second thing is we want to save whenever we want to create a new employee in the backend, not here in the backend. So again we can create a something like this. Let me create a export, write a new function for save. Okay, save employee model. Okay. So whenever we are saving it, we want two arguments here. The first argument is employee model. Why you want for employee model? Without model, we cannot save any data. That is the reason we want the employee model. And callback. Once we know that callback, like we want to refresh our screen. That is the reason I am saying like a callback. That is okay. So here, let us try to. If you want to save, what is the API? Should use it? Go to Swagger. Okay. If I want to create a new employee, which API I should call it? Delete or put? New employee, post. Okay. Whenever you want to create new employee, post. Whenever you want to update your employee, put. Whenever you want to delete your employee, delete request. Okay. So let us now tell me which API I should call it? Post API. Okay. Simple. What is our Axios dot post. Okay. This post will take it two arguments. First one is a URL. Second one is a model. Which model you want to save it? Right. But now the thing is, this you go and check the URL here. Is there any difference in the get and post? No difference. Both are having the same URL, right? That is the reason I am also using the same URL only. I am not changing anything in the URL. Okay. Once you've done that, then we need to write a then. Okay. Then we can write like this. Correct, right? Okay. I will not do anything here. I will write a console.log statement. Console.log of response. Okay, so now we are doing the save also, we have done, right? Now we need to call this function. From where we can call this function? Suppose here already we having some save employee is there, right? Here we are calling. Okay, go here and I can write format the document. Okay, so here if id is there, that is update or new. If id is there, this is a update case. If id is not there, this is a save case. So that is the reason I will come here, I will say save employee, and I will pass the two arguments, emp model comma, I want some data, right? Something like this I will write it. Okay, so this is a callback function, I am going to write it, that is okay. So here I am calling employee model and I am saying like this, file, save all. Let's go and check it here this time. Okay, so let's click here, inspect, and go to network. Okay, so let's go to the, let's click on the add employee. Okay, so I will say Ram, bank account 1234, PAN number 1234. Okay, click on save here. See here, is there any network call, ma? Okay, is there any network call? Network call is there, right? So what is the API we are calling it? Post API. Sometimes you will do the wrong here. Post and put, you will do get API, something. Okay, this is wrong. So here the post is correct one. So we are able to, and what is the response status code here? 200. That means if server is giving 200, that object successfully added to the backend server. Okay, earlier whenever we are reloading the data, this data is not coming, right? This time let us reload the data. Okay, where is that last one? Let us reload the data again. Okay, your data is not coming here. Okay, that means whether it's saving or not saving it. Okay, it is saving. For demo, what I will do, I will show it in the Swagger. Okay, there is one concept called pagination. Suppose in your company 1,000 employees are there. If you are loading all 1,000 in one screen, your screen will be getting heavy data. That is the reason what people will do, they will put only 10 members per page, and they will be having a numbers here. Click on 2, you are going to load the second employees. You are going to click on 3, you are going to load the third employees. That is called pagination. Okay, suppose but we want to see them, that whether it is saved or not. I'll go to my click employee. Here what is the number I am giving it? 10. That means for one page I want only 10 employees. But instead of doing like this, I will execute it here. Huh? And here there is one curl request is there, right? I will copy here and I will add it in a new tab and click OK. So if you see here, this is only 10 employees are there. Okay, 10 employees are there. And in the page number, limit is the 10 is there, right? Now I'll change this limit to 100. Okay, see this time how many employees are coming? 100 is there. Okay, in the backend there will be so many employees, but you want to see how many employees are there. Let me click 150. Now what is our employee name? Tell me. Ram. Okay, see our employee name is Ram, and our bank account is 1234, and his PAN number also 1234. Okay, that means our data is loading it or not. Suppose in this screen also we want to load all our data in our example also. Okay, additionally, what is the arguments they are passing here? Question mark, limit is equal to 150, page number is equal to 1. So copy these two parameters for now, only for sample purpose. Okay, and go to your api.js. api.js, here you are adding it, right? Here you can write a plus, okay, and you can add all these two things, and you can verify it here itself. See, earlier how many data is coming? Only 10. Now see our RAM is there or not? Yes, it is there. Okay, so we'll add the pagination. We will not show all this data in at a time. We are going to do a pagination. We'll focus pagination secondary. So now the first concept. So whether our save is working or not, our save is perfectly working, because see, even though you are reloading our data, our is fine. Now what we want to do, we want to change this guy name. Okay, we want to change this guy pan card number. Click on edit. Okay, so his PAN number is PAN. Okay, 1234, something like this. Okay, okay. So now if I'm clicking save, now what should happen here? We want to update the data to the PAN 1234. It is working fine, right? But if we reload the data, this data will not be there. because we are loading this data only in which place, in our memory. That is the reason now we want to write another API. What is the method we want to write it? Tell me. This time what we want to do? We want to update the employee. Let's write it again, one more function, copy here and save it. Okay, so this time what is the name, method name? You can give it a update employee. Let's write it update employee. Okay, so whenever you want to update, what is the API? You should call it post or put. Put. Okay, so that is the reason, please, this is very very important. Put. Okay, put. And another thing also, go to Swagger and check it. What is another thing is there here? If you go and check it, there is a put API here, okay. So in the finally last, it is taking one ID also. So whichever the ID you are editing, that ID we need to pass in the URL. That is the reason I will go here. Okay, here I will take another variable, constant URL is equal to something like this. So this is my original URL, and in the as per the Swagger, what is there? Slash symbol is there. After that, employee ID is there. So I will say, what is my model name here? Employee model. So that is the reason I'm calling like a employee model data ID. Suppose here you are writing like model, then what is the name? You should write it a model data ID, whatever the name. Okay, now I got the URL, right? Copy this URL and paste it here. First I am constructing my URL and I am passing here. Okay, and the remaining, there is no difference at all. Axios.put, the remaining everything is same only. Okay, let's go on to file, save all. Okay, let's check it again. So this time I'm going to reload the data, and but if you understand, I did not call this method from anywhere. That means this is not a useful method. So now I need to call this method. From where I need to call this method? In the employee component. So now inside the employee component, on save, I already we have written, right? Here, if the ID is there, this is a update case. If ID is not there, this is a new case. Already we are having this save employee. Now I want to call which one? I want to call it update employee. Okay, import, and I will call like this, employee model and something like this. So the first argument is a employee model, and second argument is I'm just writing like this. This is okay. Okay, so now file, save all. Let us try to see this time. Let us reload the page again. We have loaded. So let's click on the RAM and PAN number. Okay, PAN 1234, save it. Let's go to last and check it. So currently it is verified, but I want to reload the page and check it whether the data is saved or not. If we are reloading the page, if the data is there, that means your edit is working fine. For clarity, I'll just open my network tools and verify it. Okay, go to network tools. Don't depend on the screen. Go to network tools and check it whether what data it is going on. So I want to PAN 1 2 3 4 5 6 something. Okay, now I am going to save it and verify in the right side here, okay. So here, what is the API? It is going it a put API. And if you want to see what is the data, click on the payload. So your bank account is going 1234, and your employee name is going Ram, and ID, and this data is there. Already all the data is going all right. Some data is going null, that is okay. We'll fix them later. Okay, so and what is the response you are getting it? Once you save it, you are going to get the ID. That is okay. Okay, so that is fine. And what is the next API? Here it's calling this option. This is option is not required. Only this is the API we want to call it. Okay, now I want to refresh my screen. Okay, I want to refresh my screen. Once save is done, I want to reload all the data. Already we have written the get API. We can simply call that a get API. Okay, we will do that. Okay, and finally, what is the last operation we want to do it? We want to write the delete. Suppose if I am clicking delete here, we want to delete it from the backend also. Suppose if you are reloading the data, you are getting this data or not? Yes, but we don't want to do this. Let us write one API again. Go to your API. Okay, right click and format the document. Okay, let's write this API again. Now this time, what's the method name? Delete employee. Delete employee. Okay. Okay. So here, whenever we are deleting it, again check the URL here, in the Swagger. So employee slash employee ID is there. That is the reason I will still I will just have like this. So employee and slash and employee ID. So what is the method I want to call it here? This time I want to write like a delete. Okay. So here delete will take the only one. It will not take the two arguments. It will take only one argument. It is only required the URL. You don't need to send any body here. Okay. And we are writing a console data response. What is the response? So we have written one employee. This is okay. But we need to call this method, right? From where we need to call it? Go to your employee component. There is a method called handle delete, right? Go to that handle delete. So here already we are having it, right? Okay, here where you are writing your splice code here, okay, in this line. So I will go here. I am going to identify the, say, delete employee, something like this. Okay, so this delete employee, what is the model it is required here? Employee model. This employee model is available in where in employee array. If you want to, which index we are editing, deleting this index. So that is the reason I am calling like employees of index. This will return the data object. Suppose if you want to write in separate line, you can write it like a emp is equal something like this, and you can pass the emp here. Okay. Okay, so now click on save. File, save all. So now already first we have written the normal things. Now it is easy. Calling the API is only, they are writing only one line. Suppose two developers are working. First developer has done all the UI work. Second developer has done. So what is the second developer is has to do it? Simply calling this API from the particular place. Automatically that will work. Correct, right? Let's go and check it here again. Okay, so let's remove here. Okay, let me again show this one. Okay, so this time I want to delete it. So whenever you want to delete it, let's go and check the API network calls. See, what is the API this time? This time, what is the API? Delete API. Okay, what is the data it is going? What is the server it is returning? True. That means it is successfully deleted. That is okay. And what is the response status code? 200. Okay, something like this. If you are deleting something, automatically you are going to get the 200. Sometimes you will get error also, 400, something like this also you are going to get it. Suppose by mistake, what I am going to do, I am going to show one error, which is suppose here this employee is there, right? I will remove this part. Okay, I am not adding this /employee ID, and I will save it. Okay, and this time I am going to click on delete one employee. Okay. So what is the error here? The four node here, right? If you see the right side, what is the thing here? There is a one error here. Correct, right? So on the error, what is the method it is returning of 405? That means a developer here always 200 should come. If apart from 200, any error 400 to 500, that is error code only. Definite error. Okay. Here you are not sending corrected data to the backend. If it is coming 500 error, after 500 means there is a backend error. That is okay. Okay, 400 to 500 means 400, 401, 403, 405, like till 499. Error from the backend means some data is wrong in our data. Okay, so we are not calling the correct API. That is the reason it is saying a delete is not available like this. And go and check the Swagger, and you add the your correct ID here. Okay, suppose something like I will try to do it 234 something. Okay, I'm trying to enter some data which is not available. Let us try to save it and reload the data again. Click on delete. So this time what is the error? You see, what is the error? If you see the response, cannot delete employee, invalid employee ID. Hey user, there is no employee with this ID. Backend is throwing correct error only. Okay, this is an error. You are sending wrong data. Go and verify your data. Okay, but even though we are deleting here, we are not showing any error message to the client, right? This is wrong. Okay, that is the reason. Go to your API here and you write a catch. Okay, catch, and you can write the catch something like this. Okay, so again you are going to write one catch. Inside the catch, for example, whenever there is an error, I am going to show one alert. Okay, alert. I will say error while deleting the employee. This is for one meaningful purpose. Let us try to see what will happen. I am going to delete this employee. Click on delete. See, error while deleting the employee. Earlier there is no message itself. Now we are showing what is the error message. You want to see it here. Suppose you want to see what is the error messages. What is error messages? Same. Suppose you can copy here. I want to print that error message here. Okay, you can simply like plus error. Let us see what is the error. Click on delete. See, error while deleting employee. And what is the error? It is saying Axios error, request failed, something like this, right? We don't want to do like this. First you print the error. Console.log of error object. If you are printing the error object, we will know what is the data is available. Then we can write the correct data. Console. Let's click on this delete. Okay. Okay. See here. This is the Axios error. Inside the Axios error, where is the data is available? Message. Okay. Request failed with the 400. That is okay. And config. This is not the error message. Response. There will be data. Code Axios error. A message. Bad request response. Okay. So inside the response, data is there. Invalid data. So if you see the object, this is the Axios error object. Inside the error object, where is the data is available? Response. Inside the response, where is the data available? Data property. So now try to add this one. First, the error is a object. Inside the error, which property? Response. Inside the response, data property. Okay. Let's save it this time. So let me delete this one. Click OK. See, cannot delete employee, invalid employee 234. You are giving something wrong. Okay, something like this, you are going to get the error from the backend. So that is the reason here you need to write a catch block. Inside the catch block, either we will show one alert message or we'll write one toast message. Some error happened in the backend. Your object is not deleted. Some data is wrong. Something like this will notify that, so that at least user will know that there is something wrong with the URL. So let us try to do the same thing for all other catch block here. We'll write a catch and error and something like this. Okay. So error while saving the employee, and same thing for the updating also. So this catch is mandatory, okay, because we don't know when the backend is going to throw error backend, when we are going to get a output. So that is the reason we are going to write a catch, and let us try to do the save. Okay, so let us fix this part here, the delete part. I am hard coding it right now. Let's correct it. Employee model dot ID property. So file, save all, and reload the data. So whenever there is any mistake, this time it is automatically deleted fine, because we are calling the correct API. Always go and check in the network. So there should be one request with the delete and the response should be 200. Okay, the only most of the time problems where you will do in the URL only. So whenever you are trying to copy the URL here only, first you go and copy here and copy the URL, and once you copy the URL, where you can go to endpoints.js, here you can define it. Okay, suppose I want to write for companies, export constant, I will say companies. Okay, URL. Okay, so here this URL I don't know, right? This is just I will go to Swagger now. Okay, I'll click here. There's a company details controller is there, right? The companies is there. Try it out, execute. Okay, once it is executing, here there is URL is there, right? I will copy till the companies here, and I will go here and I will just add it in the companies. Okay, and in the companies again I am going to write a same four methods: get to, save, post, put, and only the remaining, what is the change you are going to do it here, same thing only. Okay, something like this. Okay, and now what we want to do, we want to reload our data. Whenever we want to reload our data, okay, either from after the save we want to reload our data, after the post we want to reload our data, after delete we want to reload our data. Okay, simple thing. Already we have this load employee is there, right? Okay, you can call this load employee, automatically you are going to get the data. Okay, so let's write this, fix this last part and complete this. Okay, so let's go to here. Whenever we are getting loading the data, go to this API. Here we are writing one method, right? Okay, some callback function, right? Same callback function I want to use it in 3 places. Okay, so I am going to copy this one, and first here I am writing empty, right? Here I am going to use it one time. Okay, here also empty, right? I am going to use it one time. Okay, 2 times done, right? And in the delete also, so let me delete. This is the delete set employee. Okay, here also one more. How many times I am using it same code? 3 times. Writing repeated code is recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. Okay. In this case, what we are going to do, I will write one more function. You can write a normal function. Uh, okay. Set data, something like this. Okay. So whatever the code I am writing, repeated code, these 2 lines I will cut it and I will add it to here. Okay. So now what is my method name here? Set data. Okay. So here I am going to remove all this one and I'll simply pass like a set data. So now you understood, right? First I am writing one time and then whenever it is repeated code, I am removing all this code. I am writing a one separate function. Okay. And where is other place? Here also other place. Okay. And the last one is here also I am going to remove it. This set data. Simply like this. Okay. File, save all. Okay. So now whenever we want to reload our data, let's verify it. So let's delete this employee. If I'm going to delete this employee, if it is reloading or not, I want to verify it. Okay. For verifying here, we are writing one splice, right? Okay. If you are not doing this splice and if you are not setting this employee, what will happen is your data will not delete from UI. If it is loading from the backend only, it will delete. So let us try to do delete like this. Okay. 99, click on OK. Is it delete is happening or not? So the only delete API is coming and there is no data. We are not reloading the screen. This is data is still in the screen itself. That is the reason I'll go to my API here. What is my method I'm calling here? This one, right? Okay. If you want to refresh my screen, which method I should call it? Load employees. So I'll go here and I will say load employees and callback, something like this. Okay. And in the update case also, if you want to refresh my screen, again I will remove this one and I'll say something like this, and save also I am going to do like this. File, save all. Let us reload our screen again. So 98 is there. Click on 98. Okay. See, automatically we are not touching anything in the UI. It is reloading the data from the backend. Again, you try to delete the another one. Okay, it is deleting, right? Okay, something like this you can try to do it. Okay, but the another thing what I want to do, whenever I'm deleting it, there is no loading indicator is not coming. It is taking some time, but loading is not coming. Okay, if you want to fix this, simple. So where you are deleting your code here, go to your employees. Where is the method you are deleting? Set delete, right? So after this choice you can say set loading is equal to set loading is equal to true. So now let's try to reload again. Click on delete. Okay. See, loading employees, it is coming. So again, click on delete. Okay. You can make any nice loading flag so that automatically it will load. Suppose you want to do the same thing for save and update. Can we do it or not? Simple. What you have to do? Go to your on save. Okay. Inside the on save. Here you are writing all this code, right? Here you can say something. Set loading is equal to true. So let us try to see some loading effect for update. So update, this is a 93. Okay, 93 from. Okay, click on save. Loading update. Some loading effect, right? Okay, you can see the same simple. Wherever you are saving your code, simply writing a loading is equal to true. And once the data is coming, what we are going to do? If you see the once the data is coming, this they will call the callback method. This callback is nothing but what we are passing this function as argument to the another function. This is nothing but a callback. So once we are going to get the data, again, what is the flag we are setting it up? False. Automatically our loading will be stopping. Okay. So this is how you can do all your access. Okay. Anywhere we are going to write a separate file api.js. Inside the api.js, you are going to write 4 methods for each component. One is the get, save, update, and delete. So on last, we are going to write a catch block. Catch block is for a error handling. Very, very important. Okay. Yes.